I'm an ENFP. How did Joel narrow down what he wanted to focus on in life? My radio show got canceled, and now I have a chance to do something else. So many ideas. I wrote out what my inner counsel was saying to me, and I tried to listen to them with my values, but yikes, values? Lots to work to try and figure this out. And not sure I can stick with the next thing.
Two things for you, for ENFPs in general. So the first thing is, when we talk about values, one word you could use, and you could go down the rabbit hole of motivation. So values are the things that motivate us to get into motion or action. Sometimes motivations for me as an ENFP are more accessible than even my core values, because core values feel static sometimes, or they're like, it's a very extroverted thinking way of going about, like listing core values that are like a list or a static thing. The motivations they feel dynamic, and they feel fluid, and they feel nuanced. And so you might want to change the language from core values. And I know we talk about core values in the book because that's the access point for a lot of people. So we're going to go a little deeper here and say, look at the motivations. What's motivating you? What are the motivations in every circumstance? What was motivating you for the radio show you were doing? What's motivating you to pursue different avenues and different pursuits? And getting in touch with those motivations is really powerful for you. Right now, I wouldn't even say do anything with those motivations. Just get really good at understanding those motivations about yourself. Because when you get really good at understanding your motivations, I've noticed that the better I get at understanding why I'm doing something, and just like she talked about being radically honest with what the thoughts are, I'm radically honest with my motivations. And the more I do that, the more I can read other people's motivations and understand. So that's just a side benefit as well. So that would be one thing, is understand the motivations. And in tandem with that, I would say for the ENFP, for you as an ENFP, is to look at, because it's introverted feeling, it's about a feeling state, all these things, these pursuits, quote unquote, you have that you're motivated to pursue. The reason I believe you're motivated to pursue them as an ENFP is because you get an emotional payoff from it. So there's an emotion that you're looking to feel. And that's why when you start something, let's say you start a project and within a couple months, you said, I don't know if I'll stick with it. Well, somehow you're losing the emotional payoff you originally got to start the thing in the first place. So if you can understand the motivation, I've got this emotional payoff. Why did it peter out after 2 months? What was going on there? What was the motivational shift? Or why did things change for me to have a different feelings? Now I'm not interested in this anymore. I don't have the motivation of the pull, the emotions. For me, it's more about what emotions I want to feel. What do I want to feel than it is about what do I want to do. The doing gets me to the feeling. And so I think to reverse it and say, what am I going to do with my life? It's what am I going to feel with my life, really? I know that's abstract and kind of woo, plug that into your extroverted intuition, your exploration process. And we can talk more about that probably on future ENFP programs and discussions and stuff. But that's the starting point, I would say. The limited scope of what I can talk about here, with the limited time we have. Those two things, motivations and the feelings that you want to have. What are the feelings that you're after? For me, I know one of my biggest drivers is I want to feel joyfully expressed in every situation. Now, does that always happen? When I don't get the airline ticket a day later and I'm frustrated, I don't feel joyful in that moment. I feel frustrated, right? And so getting back the motivation to say, why, like, to what end? To what end am I frustrated right now, Joel? Why am I blasting this emotion out like, I didn't get this thing booked? Why am I so frustrated? What's the motivation of why I'm frustrated right now? I get in touch with that and work with that energy, and I can really get a sense of that motivation. And then I can say, well, what emotion do I want to feel right now? Like, to what end do I want to feel this emotion over here? What's the motivation? I get in touch with it. What emotion do I want to feel? I want to feel calm. I want to feel centered. I want to feel like I'm on top of my life. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel empowered. Those are the emotions I want to feel. And is getting upset about this airline ticket the way that I'm going to get those emotional states? Probably not. That's a very zoomed in example, but this is the kind of energies you can play with. Some of the questions you could be asking yourself as you start to go down the rabbit hole of understanding yourself as an ENFP and how you're showing up. And then I found that when I go down this road, I start to pursue the things that really mean something to me. And then the longevity, the stick-to-itness. I've been doing Personality Hacker for now almost a decade. Almost a decade as an ENFP, not getting bored with something and sticking with it and doubling down and really putting attention and time to it. Because I've dialed in the motivation, I've dialed in the emotional payoff. And I understand the emotion it gives me and the ones that I want to pursue. And that would be my starting point for you as an ENFP. Hopefully that gives you some insight and answers to that question. Hey, it's Joel Markwood and Tony Dodge. Thanks for watching that video. You can go get a copy of Personality Hacker in any bookstore online. You can order it from your local bookstore in your town, which is cool because then you can support the local bookstores in your town. But this book is really powerful. separate into two sections. The first part is theory of the system, of the way we approach Myers-Briggs. We talk about the CAR model. We unpack how to learn about your cognitive functions. And the second half of the book goes into each of the 16 individual personality types.